Hello, everybody. My dear friends, my many beautiful and talented, artistically endowed friends, my many incredible friends that I know. We're on a rooftop here in beautiful Carnerby, an abandoned building. I'm not a miscreant. There's lots of beautiful, incredible graffiti all over this building, but I wouldn't want it to distract from the show, from the main event here. So, I have to fast today. I have a blood test tomorrow. So there's no food review today. I do, however, have a box of number 4 purple Epoch Intense S4 Snus and a bottle of Imsdal water. So today is my Snus and Imsdal review. So without further ado, let's get into it. Yeah, the scent or flavoring on the snus is it's pretty light. I wouldn't say it's so intense. The water was clean. It was clear. There was no bits in it. Pretty standard. I feel hydrated. The aggression that comes with not eating has been a bit intense today. You know, I'm a bit mentally ill, so I do feel like a bit of I sort of maligned fuzz at the back of my head, just like this source of anxiety. What else? There's not much else to say. It's a day like any other. But fasting isn't something that I'm too opposed of. I'm not so sure about the physical or mental health benefits of it, but as a spiritual endeavor, I can understand why, Judaism and Islam, even like, Buddhism as well, is very much, people will go a very long period of time without eating. And I get it. It's not the first time I fasted. When I was in a mental hospital, there was one day where I could feel it in myself that despite my situation, there were lots of things about the experience that I was taking for granted, and that I was letting myself become very miserable. And I could tell that the people working there were doing their best. So one day, I didn't do it to make a fuss. I just said, today I'd like to fast. I just didn't want to eat. And people, I was just sort of running around with the idea. And then, my friend in there, Anders, he worked there. He was this guy that would often be assigned to stay with me in my room. He said to me, there's no way. There's no fucking way that there is no way that you are going to be able to fast. He was this very, prima proper guy. He was just like you, this lunatic, impulsive freak. There's no way you're going to be able to fast. And then he said as he was leaving, because he had the midday shift, he was telling everybody else, he was just like, tell Neil that I don't believe him and that he's not going to be able to fast. And when they told me that, I was like, what the fuck? He couldn't fucking fast. I can fast. So yeah, I went the whole day without eating. And then at 12 o'clock, I was beside myself. And even though the kitchen was closed, I went up to a guy and I was like, can I please have 2 sandwiches? And I used to have this order. I was just like, I need a thing of mackerel and tomato, 2, and then I need I need salami and ham, I need 2 things of cheese, I need mackerel and tomato, and I need 3 slices of bread. Which sounds like something a crazy person would say. Oh, and vegetables, I need paprika and cucumber. And it's because in this hospital I knew that I wanted to get out. So I became, even though I was only in cooking school for about a month. The one class that I did do very well in was nutrition, because that was just a classroom environment. We weren't in the kitchen. It wasn't so stressful. I was just there with the laptop, and I wanted to learn. So I was very focused on the nutrition side of things. I knew that a big reason why people may get institutionalized or stay in there is because they're just beside themselves, and they're not really able to focus too much on things outside of the environment. And a lot of them are, they cling to the fantasy. So a lot of them just kind of needed to stay there and wanted to stay there. And you get sort of lazy. It's like a zoo environment. You turn into a fucking panda. So I was just fucking laser focused on nutrition. I was just I need that, and this, and 3 slices of bread. That would always make them laugh. And then it's because I had this I had this process that I go through every day where no matter where I was at fluctuating, I would always sit down, I'd shut the fuck up for a bit, and I'd make my 3-layered Deckard Scooby-Doo sandwich. And the entire process was very goofy and very silly, and it was this thing that I did every day to remind myself not to take things too seriously. But yeah, at a certain stage, I started taking that process for granted, and I started being very shitty with the people, and I was just very miserable, and I was just gaming every day. Luckily, they let me keep my PlayStation. They hooked it up for me, but so one day I just put my foot down. I was just forget this, I'm taking this for granted, these people are trying to help me. And it worked, But that sandwich that I was allowed to have at 12 o'clock was fantastic. And the next day I woke up with more of an appreciation for the service that they were doing for me. So today we're just fasting for a blood test. Luckily, with my sobriety, I have more of a clear idea of what I have to do for my life and where I can go. And this thing with the camera, it's I hope it doesn't come across as self-aggrandizing. It's just this goofy thing that I like to do, and I have no delusions about getting a fucking Burger King sponsorship or anything, or subscribe to my Patreon, follow me on OnlyFans, you watch me wank into the camera. This is just, for me, an endeavor of solitude. But of course, we need to communicate, we need to talk, we need to be around each other. But for me, it's just been this crutch for many years now, to focus too much on the people around me, to need them to do things for me, to then get too involved in their lives, to see parts of them that I can recognize in myself, and instead of trying to lift myself up and work on myself and sweat and tears and just grow through it and grow as an individual to become an adult, I will just overly focus on the faults of other people. But that's only my perspective, and I'll just be it ultimately becomes abusive. I'll just be too big a part of someone's life, and I can tell over time that the longer I'm around one person, yeah, we have a good time, yeah, we laugh and we have fun, but I'm just too unstable of an individual to be around, and I can tell that it's taxing for someone to be around me for a long period of time. So I'm trying to stick to myself these days, not as any sort of depressive Batman in the Batcave listening to Nirvana, although I do that, just as respect for other individuals in their space. And hopefully then when this is all over and I get this blood test, I do this piss test that I have to do as well, and they see that I'm clean, and then from there, it might take a while. Things move slow here in beautiful Oslo City, the city that sleeps on Sundays. Hopefully then, I'll be able to see my doctor and start working on things, take things slowly, have some fucking kids at some stage. So, farting. I've had fucking terrible diarrhea recently anyway, so this isn't too bad. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? They paved paradise and put up a parking lot. Who can say where the road goes, where the time flows? Only time. You've got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, don't mess with Mr. In Between. You've got to spread joy up to the maximum, bring gloom down to the minimum, have faith or pandemonium's liable to walk upon the scene. To illustrate his last remark, Jonah in the whale, Noah in the ark, what did they do just when everything looked so dark? Well, you really got to have faith, or pandemonium's liable to walk upon the scene. So, the water was clear and good. The snooze was pretty shit, honestly, but it keeps you alive. I hope everyone's had a good day so far. And I love you all.